Bam, ba-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. I saw the Justice League today in the theater at 10:45 a.m. Well, it was like 11:15 a.m. But anyway, guys, I finally saw the Justice League. Awesome freaking fun movie, man. I just loved almost every second of this movie. There were some flaws, though. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. I don't need to wear this mask the whole time because it's going to give me a headache. So I'll just trade it for this hat. And, well, I'm wearing my Flash shirt, so you guys get the gist. But, wow. First live-action Justice League movie in the theater, and it's paid off in dividends. Justice has been served after failure from DC, because I was not a fan of Man of Steel. Sorry, Sean, I will never like that movie. After seeing this, this is what that movie should have been. BVS, I still enjoy it, but it has a lot of problems. There was a lot of things they did not need in the movie. I hated Suicide Squad, and Wonder Woman was good, but the ending took me out of it. This was a mix of Wonder Woman and the stuff I liked in BVS, and it escalated it a lot more, but without having 100 subplots and tons of flashbacks. There are no flashbacks in this movie. Pretty much, it's all coherent. It's not like there's stuff missing or whatever. The movie was really well done. Like Joss Whedon, I could feel his writing presence in this movie. That's what was missing from some of the previous films. A lighter tone, action sequences that I can see. Freaking not no shaky cam. The one thing this film suffers from, excuse my voice, I went out a couple of days ago and sweated, and I'm congested. But anyway, the one thing all of these DC movies have suffered from in this universe is a bad villain. Because just like the critics said, yes, Steppenwolf is a very forgettable villain. I like his voice, but I don't care for his he's just a full CG character. He's basically a Warcraft or Thor Ragnarok knockoff, or Ares from the end of Wonder Woman again, but this time for the whole movie, not just he pops out of nowhere. Steppenwolf, yeah, he's one of the flaws of the movie. That, and there were some jokes that kind of landed flat, but it's not Joss Whedon's fault. He had to do what he could to save this movie, considering Snyder had to leave at the last minute. He wasn't fired. Like there's two guys that were fired for freaking Solo, by the way. Take that, Solo. By the way, this movie was better than some other Marvel movies I've seen. This is way better than Apocalypse. I'm sorry, that movie, I'm not interested in X-Men anymore, especially after seeing this movie, because this is how you do it right. Hey, this Amazing Spider-Man 2, this is how you do a movie right. An ensemble cast. You don't throw three villains in the movie and then, leave us with nothing. This movie did a lot of things right. Batman was awesome. Ben Affleck, I love him. I hope he stays as Batman for at least two more films. He doesn't have to be Batman for 10 years. Because Robert Downey Jr., he did it years ago, and he's still Iron Man. But with Ben Affleck, I'm fine with him. He's a great Batman. He has the presence, he has the freaking voice, and he has the poses. His fight scenes are pretty awesome. And they use part, not the whole thing, part of his theme from the 89 film. So, Sean, don't say, oh, this movie sucked because it barely had Superman and it had the themes pandered in. If you didn't know that going in, then maybe you should see it in the theater for yourself. But I'm sorry you don't live near a theater. I do. That's why I went to the faraway theater to see this with a great crowd. The rest of the cast, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot still knocks it out of the park. She's awesome. Love her. Sexy. Freaking accent. Love love her freaking action sequences. She's still as badass as she was 5 months ago in Wonder Woman. I love the Flash. This is the Flash I've been waiting for since the freaking 90s show. I wanted a lighter Flash without the broodingness of Grant Gustin's character in the CW show, which I love that show, but the dark, it's my fault, self-loathing crap, I was sick of that. And I was also sick of season 4, where they made the show into a joke with these lame-ass villains and a new character that annoyed me. Here, I thought, while this guy didn't top Grant Gustin, he did his own version of Barry Allen. Ezra Miller did great. He made me laugh a lot. I loved his expressions on his face. Like, his expression. See, it's not Kylo Ren where he's the same face for the whole freaking movie, and his expression is destroying things. And also he shows emotion, and he's having fun and he's wisecracking and witty. That's what I wanted in the Flash. This is a fun character. You're not gonna make him some emo biatch like freaking Kylo Ren, making him, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so brooding, oh, no one loves me. No, that's not the Barry Allen here. I love his scenes. The special effects of him running looks fantastic. Love the interaction with the other characters. He was just a blast. Cyborg, hey, John Boyega, this is how you do an American accent the right way. This is how you seem less bland and do it the right way. The guy that played him, Cyborg, Victor Stone, did a great job. I thought he had a more subtle performance. He wasn't as expressive, but he had to act under all that CG and all the pieces of metal on his face. And I thought he did fine with what he did. And also that he's not a Brit, which helps a lot because when there's a Brit faking this accent, I'm like, I don't buy it. Throw you right out the window. And then we have Aquaman. I thought he had his moments. I didn't love him. I'm not going to see his movie next year, not because I hate the character, just he doesn't really do much for me as a main character. In small doses, Jason Momoa is fine. Like, he made me laugh a couple times. He said one line that I loved in the movie that he called Wonder Woman gorgeous. That's not a spoiler. Hey, everybody knows that. Everybody that loves women the way I do and a woman like her knows exactly what she is and who she is. And also the rest of the cast. J.K. Simmons is not in the film that much. He has less screen time than Gary Oldman, but he serves his purpose. It was good to see him in another comic book movie. The girl that played Mira, Amber Heard, was there for 2 minutes, didn't do nothing for me. I'm not going to say when she appears. The two post-credit scenes, I'm not going to say it until the spoiler podcast. Just wait till the end credits of the movie. You will be surprised, especially with one of them. There were lots of Easter eggs, which I can't say because they're major spoilers. I don't want Enda to spoil anything. The thin plot, yeah, there's a lot going on, but it doesn't feel overstuffed and it's not 2.5 hours. Last Jedi, eat my ass. There's no way you're going to be better than this. This movie had more heart, more humor, better actions, and even when Superman appears in the second half of the movie, it's not forced in there. And the way they bring him back, hey, it worked. It was not like, oh my God, how did it, at least it was explained. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere. Cavill, he's serviceable here. I didn't say I didn't love him, but I didn't despise him like I did in Man of Steel with the Franny conflicted. I know, don't say in the comment sections, Sean, that, oh, he was conflicted and he's an alien and people hated him. We get it. We got that with the first movie and with BVS. We got it. Here, costumes much more brighter. He has some fun moments in the movie with the Flash and, when they're trying to outdo each other. And the theme, it's slight. It's not beaten over your face. Like in Rogue One, everything is beaten over your face. All the fan service is knocked over your head. Here, it's done in subtle little trinkets. It's not so blatantly obvious, which I like that. We didn't need Hans Zimmer for this. Danny Elfman's score is fine the way it is. Steppenwolf, yeah, he's not a good villain. Like, he's just got a basically generic plot like he does with everything. He wants to take these three, bricks or whatever, like these mother boxes, merge them together so he can take over the world. It's basically what we've seen in every comic book movie. Like the Tesseract in Avengers. There's a lot of nods to Avengers, but it's not ripping it off, which I like. Also, the film had humor that needed to be here. If we didn't write this movie, it would have been some dark and gritty thing that we didn't need. We needed a little bit lighter. Wonder Woman taught us that DC needs to embrace humor and comedy without, making it feel forced at the end. Here, it felt a little more natural. Some people are going to say, oh, this movie sucks because the CG's terrible. I like most of the CG. The alien bug things that are in the trailer, they were in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. That fight, the Justice League, they look like a mix of like Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming and Killer Moth. That's what they kind of look like, and they're like they fly around like the Geonosians in Attack of the Clones. But it was well done. The beginning of the movie was fine. The opening, I'm not gonna say it. Introducing all the characters together. There was scenes with Barry Allen that I liked. Very relatable. A nod to the TV show without being the TV show. They didn't have Iris or Caitlin or freaking Cisco. No, that's going to be for the Flash movie. which I want to see after watching this because I loved Ezra Miller's performance. Lots of energy, great humor, very witty. The film overall was a success. DC finally dug themselves out of that hole. Wonder Woman was a hand out of the hole. This was jumping out of the hole, and they're not turning back. And I love the Easter eggs at the end. And there is hints of future Justice Leaguers, like freaking like the other Justice Leaguers, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, which are not in the movie, but and Green Lantern and freaking Martian Manhunter. I want to see more of these characters. This was the start. I can't wait to see what it finishes. Like, because Marvel already proved, yes, I'm still a Marvel guy. This has come from a Marvel guy that loves, obviously, Marvel more than any other comic book company, industry. But DC, when they do something right, I give them the pass. And this movie gets the pass. I want this on Blu-ray next year. It's an awesome, fun, energetic movie. Yeah, it's thin on plot, but you know what? I didn't want a deep plot. Deep plot means too much dialogue, and I don't need that. Fan Four Stick already ruined that. It had too much plot, not enough action, and it was boring. This was not boring. Thank you, Joss Whedon. Thank you, Zack Snyder, for the slow-mo was done well. Dodging bullets and when the Flash is running, awesome freaking stuff. It was eye-gasmic. It really was. And it made me feel like a kid again, which I'm never getting with these new Star Wars movies. I'm sorry. A shitty cast and ideas that we've seen already, not for me. I'd rather see something that we've never seen before, and this is it. A Justice League movie in the theater. We've seen a lot of their animated adventures and TV shows. It was time for a film, and they did it right. It's going to make a killing this weekend. And thank God that this movie was made and it was released in the US and it didn't fail me. It didn't let me down. Is it my favorite movie of the year? No. That honor goes to Guardians 2 because that was the sequel I wanted 3 years later. This was pretty damn close to Wonder Woman and the freaking Spider-Man Homecoming. But, this movie had to do what it had to do and it did it well. And I'm not going to spoil anything. In my spoiler podcast with my friends, you'll find out more about the Easter eggs and the scenes at the end. And, most of the key plot points that I don't want to say here. Amy Adams is fine in the movie. She has some scenes there. Diane Lane's good. Who else is in the movie? There's a couple of, side characters. Florence Fishburne is not back because he was doing another film, I think. But it's well done. Justice League. Justice has been served. And I'm glad this was the last movie I saw in the theater this year. Because there is no way in God's green earth that I will ever go to the theater again in December. Because it's too cold. And it was already cold today. So I made the effort. In December, I'll just watch something better than Last Jedi, which is going to just do this to your face. Because Disney wants the profits. Disney didn't get a dime from me today. DC did. Warner Brothers, they deserved it. They've done good work this year. They make mistakes, but then when they come back freaking strong, dude. And this team, great chemistry with the cast, most of the cast. And even though a shitty villain can't ruin this movie, there were bad villains last year in Deadpool and freaking, Civil War and BVS and Suicide Squad. But this one, in this case, I can make an exception because at least the villain gets his. You know that if you've seen comic book movies for the last 20 years. But it was a good movie. I was very, very entertained. That's what I wanted. I didn't want that. That could never be recreated because that is a masterpiece. That's what you do when you nail everything. And the villain. Here, crappy villain, but hey, I can overlook it because it still made me laugh. It made me smile. One line at the end of the movie the audience went crazy. And they were clapping. And I'm like, good. Reaction. That's my opinion. But anyway, you don't have to leave in the comment section, oh, you're just praising it because you want to fit in. No, I enjoyed this film. I went in with minimal expectations. I was not expecting the world from it. And it didn't give me the world, but it gave me a lot. And I'm not going to fault it for that. I'm not. It's a good movie. It's well made. 40% my ass, Rotten Tomatoes. You gave a 70-something% to Fembusters. That is not a movie. That's an agenda disguised as a 1984 film. This at least did its own thing. It didn't copy Avengers or Guardians or Homecoming. It did its own thing, and it's successful because of it. And people are going to disagree with me. It's fine. It's not my favorite movie of the year, but damn it, it's going to be in my top 10 for sure, without any question. Because Whedon came in and saved the day with his writing, because I love his writing. All the references, the humor, the way the characters react, and, it's worth it. It's something, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's entertaining. Being, I'm so sad. I'm going to cut myself Kylo Ren for 2.5 hours is not going to do it for me. I'm sorry. And a girl that can't act. Hey, uh, DR, if you want to learn how to act, see Gal Gadot. She uses a natural accent and it's sexy and she has the most amazing hair I've ever seen in my life. My God, that woman is so lucky. Her husband just he is so lucky he gets to touch that hair every day because my God, she's a beautiful woman. Just uh Israeli chicks are just awesome, dude. Like look at Natalie Portman. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See this. This is another movie that starts with a consonant. J for good job, Justice League 2017. You're not perfect, but damn it, you entertained me. And there are going to be naysayers saying, it's horrible, look at the CGI. It should have been, at least at the ending, it's not in a city. Winkety wink wink. It's not. It's in like a small village, a small town. It's not a big city. Thank you. It didn't have to copy other films. And there's a lot of nods to other films, which it worked. But anyway, that's my spoiler review of Justice League. I couldn't be happier, man. I'm glad I got to see this. I lived to tell the tale because some people on YouTube were not that lucky. But anyway, see you guys in the next review. Go Justice League. I can't wait to see more from DC because they nailed it this year. They stumbled last year. They came back fighting. And that's all I wanted. See you guys later.